anything like me, rest is a word that you're not particularly fond of. Not that it doesn't sound nice to sleep, it really, really does. But there's just so much to do, you feel guilty for even considering stopping. You're worried that if you stop to rest, that you won't come back to it. Or even worse, you'll lose all of that progress that you've made. You feel like you have so far to go that you just don't have time to rest. Boo, I feel you. As someone who hates the idea of resting, I can't even watch a movie without doing something else. Like, I watch Naruto while I'm working. I will let myself watch some YouTube videos while I'm putting away laundry. I know the struggle, but I also realize that whether I like it or not, and whether you like it or not, rest is essential to your recovery journey. While you may be looking at me with one eyebrow cocked and your arms crossed, about ready to roll your eyes so hard they get stuck in the back of your head, I promise you, this is true. If this is your first time hanging out, welcome. My name is Karleigh Saunders. I'm a confidence and abuse recovery coach. As someone who is stuck in the abusive relationship cycle from the time I was 12 until I was 23 years old, I have not only gotten out and found freedom, but I am determined to help you do the same. Today, we are talking about the importance of rest and why you need to work rest into your schedule. So I've got a question for you, and I need you to really answer this. Maybe hit the pause button after I ask. Really stew with this. Are you truly making progress, or are you just busy? I have absolutely always hated hearing this. I am someone who is chronically busy, and I thrive in chaos. Whether it comes to business, to homemaking, to being a mom, to doing a workout routine, to my own recovery, I hated hearing it because I assumed that as long as I was moving, I was making progress. But once I took a step back, I actually recognized what it meant, and I saw the impact that the lack of rest was having on my life. A lot of the time, we stay busy just to keep our calendars full. We stay busy as an excuse to not do something else. And if you find yourself going, oh my gosh, I really need to do this, and then all of a sudden you decide to clean the kitchen and you hate doing dishes, you're probably just busy. When you feel like you're doing nothing but going and going and going all the time, but it feels like you're doing the Scooby-Doo run on a treadmill, you're just busy. Recovery is an active daily choice that you have to make every single day. I get that. I say that all the time because it's true. However, that doesn't mean you always have to go at 100 miles an hour. A big part of recovery is recognizing when you need to rest. Now, if you were in an abusive relationship, you probably learned that rest was dangerous because if you looked like you weren't doing anything, you never knew how they were going to lash out. If you stopped for a minute, you'd have to actually recognize what was happening to you, and that in itself was far more terrifying. So you just kept going. So not being able to rest, not being able to be comfortable while resting, I get that. You're not alone there. But if we don't actively take the time to learn how to rest, we're actually just re-traumatizing ourselves and keeping our brain from healing. Here's an example that I want to share with you, and this is me being completely honest. I absolutely love to read. I love reading, and I easily burn through 1 to 3 books every single week. However, they're all nonfiction. Hey, I am a total geek, and I am here for it. I love to geek out on psychology or business books, personal development, learning about nutrition. Those things light me up, but it's always learning to a point that it kind of led me to this road of burnout. I reached this point where I was dumping so much information in my brain that I couldn't even process it. And I can't tell you the last time I read a fiction book. Not really, unless you're counting the ones I read with my son before bed. I haven't sat and just binge read a fiction book in so long. And I can tell you right now that my brain is craving that escape. The reason I share this is because both of them are reading. It's the same action, but there is guilt that is involved with the fiction book because it's not actively helping my brain to learn. But there is also so much exhaustion that comes with reading nonfiction because my brain is so full. So I want you to take a look right now and look over your recovery journey, look over your life and recognize where you may have hit a wall or where you may just be busy and where you're not making progress. That is the area that you need to focus in on. Burnout is real. Now, a lot of people may be wondering how on earth you can get burnt out from, working on your recovery journey. And while you may not be actively going out and lifting weights or working labor, like doing hard labor with your hands, you are actually using a lot of energy. When you're on your recovery journey, your brain uses a lot more energy, a lot more caloric energy than it does when it's in a quote unquote normal state or neurotypical state. Why? Because healing actively takes energy. And so you may find yourself completely exhausted after just doing a couple hours of journaling. Why? Because you've used so much mental energy that your brain is just done. This could cause you to completely collapse on the bed, feeling exhausted and wondering why, and feeling even more useless. This is a sign that you have reached burnout. This is a sign where the next step to healing for you is actually taking some time to rest. A good way to look at this is through the fitness lens. You can work out, and working out is great, but if you don't allow yourself to rest, you're going to cause an injury. And what is that injury going to do? Cause more damage, which knocks you out for a lot longer or even permanently. It is the exact same way when you are doing all of this mental work to heal, especially from the abuse that you endured. The reality is that rest is where the progress is made. Let's stick with the fitness example for a second. When you are actively working out, you are actually breaking down muscle. You are exhausting your body and you're actually ripping the muscle into a bunch and shredding it. So when someone says they're shredded, it literally means they are shredding the muscle and breaking it apart. If you do nothing but break the muscle down, it's eventually going to break down to a point where there's nothing left. But when you stop, and you go and you refuel and you eat food that benefits your body and you do the things and you nourish yourself and you sit and you chill for a bit and you let your body heal, rest and relax, you're going to come back so much stronger because those fibers that are healing the muscles make your muscles stronger because the body's like, oh my gosh, we got to learn how to withstand this. It is the exact same thing with your brain and with your recovery journey. If you are not actively taking time to rest, you are actively tearing yourself down to a point where it's going to do nothing but cause harm. Now, look, I understand how difficult this can be. It can feel really hard, and heck, the guilt may feel crushing by just sitting down and doing nothing. But here's your challenge. Start with 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes of no phone, no cleaning, no laundry. If you need to wake up 5 minutes before the kids get up, if you need to go to bed 5 minutes after the kids go to bed, just sit down and do nothing for 5 minutes. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This 5 minutes is going to feel like torture, and it's going to feel like it's going to last forever. And you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many things that I could be doing with this 5 minutes. And then the 5 minutes is going to pass. And you're going to realize that the world didn't stop and you didn't collapse. And after a few days of doing 5 minutes, make it 6 minutes and add it on. Take some time to do something that you enjoy. Maybe it's listening to a podcast that has nothing to do with business or personal development or learning. It's just something that's funny or something that you just like to listen to. Maybe take some time and play on the video game. That's your jam. Do that. Maybe allow yourself to sit and binge a few episodes of your favorite show on Netflix. A lot of people say not to do that. But if you're resting, that's okay. And if you are someone that needs to know that you're still going to be productive, schedule in your rest. Even if it's only 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes a day, that's a great start. And then just keep adding on. Eventually, you'll find yourself taking 20, 30 minutes, an hour a day to yourself. Will the guilt be there? Probably. But the more you do it, the less heavy that guilt becomes. So what I want to know, as you are planning your restful journey, what is something that you do to help you rest, relax, and get ready for the next day? I would absolutely love to know in the comments. Make sure to check out this video over here because it's going to help you along your abusive relationship recovery journey. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and never forget that you are strong, you are capable, you are intelligent, and boo, you are so freaking worthy.